If you're a heating air conditioning technician or even a salesperson, what is a bear trap in sales? What do you need to know about it and why does it matter? This is a super important question. I'm Scott Sylvan Bell, coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about you. Today we're talking about bear traps, right? Bear traps. So I want to say 6-7 years ago, I coined this phrase of what a bear trap is. And it's essentially this. Let's say that today you're at a sales call and your buyer is getting a proposal from a company that you know something about, right? You know that they're going to use a closing technique. You know that they're going to use a negotiation strategy. You have insider information. You know what they're going to say. So a bear trap is you explaining what to expect from the person who is coming out, or the companies that are coming out, or knowing how people are going to react, right? So when you give a bear trap, it's supposed to be super conversational, and you're also making fun of the other company or companies. And this is why you should join HVAC Tech Secrets. I give you the goods, not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel. So bear traps, like, right, have those things that there's a piece of metal in the middle and it's on springs, and so that when the bear steps on it, it snaps and it traps their foot and they're stuck, right? So a bear trap is meant to be a diss. It's meant to be a snap. I'm going to use some old school language. Like I was born in 76. Like we use language like diss and snap, you know, for when we're talking about, you know, going after somebody, and, you know, your mama jokes are the dozens. Anyway, it's meant to be a diss or a snap against the person who's coming out, so that they don't know how to deal with it in a way that's going to make sense, right? They roll into their script, and the bear goes, I already know what you're going to say. I already know what you're going to do. And it gets them. It's a bear trap. They're stuck. They have nowhere to go. And so, like, if you're going to do this, it's going to take some role play. It's going to take some patience. And I'm going to say, like, don't just roll this out on the first time. You really need to have some insider information. So you could say, hey, there's a couple things that I want to go over with you. Here's what to expect. Let me separate fact from fiction. There's a maneuver in our industry. There's things that these dudes do. This is the sign of somebody telling you something that's not exactly true. This is a way that and you fill in the blank, right? But it's very playful. Very playful. So, like, if I'm talking to you and they're like, hey, Scott, I'm having an XYZ company come out. I'm like, XYZ company. Oh, you're in for it. And they're going to go, why? And I'm like, You know, they do this thing, and then I fill in the blank. I'm like, you know what? Here's what's going to happen. You're in for it. And I kind of giggle about it. Kind of give them this is what you're into. This is what they're going to say, and this is what they're going to do. You know, you might as well set this expectation. So, like, I could do a bear trap on other sales trainers, right? Hey, you know, you're going to have this guy or this girl come out to your company. Be prepared. Oh my goodness, what a train wreck. They're going to teach your team this line of fill in the blank. They're going to have this strategy, and oh my goodness, at the end of the day it doesn't work. You know, part of the goal is to get the buyer to chase you and to say, like, oh, wait, are you serious? Tell me more, right? So a bear trap could be about equipment. It could be about install. It could be about warranties and guarantees. It could be about sales strategies. It could be about discount strategies, right? So when I was doing sales, there was a guy that would have open box sale, right? He would constantly have an open box sale. And so this is what would happen. Like if they said, hey, XYZ company is going to come out, I would kind of giggle and go, oh, you mean open box Bob? And they were like, wait, what does that mean? And I go, here, just let you know, open box Bob, this is the dude. He's going to sit down with you. He's going to give his presentation. You're going to tell him you don't like the price, whatever, I don't know, whatever objection you're going to give. And then he's going to pull out pictures on his phone and say, I've got a couple of open boxes for you. Right? Maybe an open box scratch and dent. Scratch and dent Steve was another guy. Open box Bob's going to come to you and say, hey, here's what the opportunity is. And I said, here's what the open boxes look like from the manufacturer, right? They're not very pretty. They're dinged and dented. They're smashed up. And open box Bob has a whole bunch of scratch and dents you know, in his shop ready to go, where, you know, they're just sitting there. And if that's the guy or the girl you want to do business with based upon what they're telling you, go with Open Box Bob. But, you know, I've always found that when people are not truthful in the beginning, they're not truthful in the end. It's kind of a sign of what to expect. And that's it, right? Let it go. You don't have to say anything else. That bear trap is done. So Open Box Bob shows up, and Open Box Bob says, hey, here's my camera and here's my picture. And the buyer's like, oh my goodness, it is Open Box Bob, right? And like sometimes they laugh at them and point fingers at them, but they got the bear trap. Bear trap, right? They got snapped by a bear trap. So you could do this on products, services. If you know a closing technique, if you know a strategy that they're going to use, you can make fun of it in the space of about 20 to 45 seconds. If you talk too much about this, it's going to create a problem. It's just meant to be just short and to the point, punchy, like, oh my goodness. Yeah, you're in it for Open Box Bob. And they're like, what do you mean? Oh yeah, Open Box Bob. Promise you. He's going to get to the end of the presentation, pull out his phone and be like, psst. Like there was a guy that would always have pictures of his kids, and he had a lot of kids. And so I came up against him a bunch, and they would say, oh, I had this guy come out from XYZ company. I was like, oh, yep. I bet you he showed you the pictures of his kids and talked about his son in the military and, you know, 8 or 9 other things. Like, yeah, how did you know? And I'm like, scripted, right? He didn't have a real conversation with you. I could tell you at what point he laughed. I could tell you at what point that and they would go, yeah, that makes a ton of sense, right? There you go. That's a bear trap for you. Bear trap in heating and air sales and car sales and plumbing sales. It's all the same thing. You're using verbal judo against whatever you know your competition does, but you're making fun of it in about 20 to 45 seconds. That's the key, right? Giggle about it, laugh about it. It's meant to be in passing. It's not meant to be a long conversation, right? It's a snap trap. It's just, there we go, right? Short, to the point, and punchy. You got 1 to 2 things to do from here. It's 1, 2. Find the subscribe button, click on it. Every time I send out a video, you'll get an update that says HVAC Technician Sales Secrets. Send out another fantastic video, or hit follow. There you go. Bear traps. We'll see you soon.